Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to focus on showing you the exact build I use to really dominate with games and focus on the build that is based around Haze's ult. So you can do different builds of Haze, so you can do maybe a brawler build. There's plenty of other builds out there, but I've found this build that revolves around her ult is the most powerful. So in this video I'm going to show you exactly the build I do. And then you guys can copy that and then try for yourself. As you can see here in the clips, she can literally, that was just a 1v2. There's been instances where I'm 1v4ing and still winning, so it just melts face. If that's what you guys are interested in, then stick around for this video and I will show you guys exactly how to do it. And if you find this video useful, guys, do let me know in the comments. And if you want to, drop a like and subscribe as well, it means a lot. Also, I'm live on Twitch most afternoons in the weekday, so come by, give me a follow if you like the content, and it'd be good to see you guys down there. So Haze is one of the squishiest heroes in Deadlock to begin with in the laning phase. You only have 500 max health at the start, and her DPS is only 56, so this isn't very good at all. But what does make her special is when you get going, the total ammo increases with spirit power. So once you've stacked up a couple of spirit items, you'll have a massive magazine, and then that just makes you take full advantage of her ultimate, so the bullet dance. And then Haze also has an above average movement speed, which is 8 ms. So combined with her smoke bomb ability, it lets her dash around from lane to lane, so her ganking ability is actually really good early. So if you do get a kill in the lane, or even if you're falling behind, like your ganking ability as Haze is really good, so it really lets you take advantage of her kind of skill set. So with this upgrade in mobility, it also makes her really evasive too, so she's not easily killed. So the disadvantages of Haze is, like I've already said, she starts with 500 max health at the start, which isn't that good, with also a combined DPS of 56, so it isn't that good either. So this makes her really squishy, and also she doesn't have the best health per level scaling, so this still makes her squishy in the late game, but obviously she makes up for that from the amount of damage she can output. And the last disadvantage of Haze is that her ultimate does depend on you having items, so if you haven't got the correct items brought, her ultimate isn't actually going to do that much damage and you aren't going to be that effective in the game, which is kind of self-explanatory. So this is the best item progression order in my opinion. It doesn't really vary from brawler to ultimate in terms of progressing, because the main reason is you don't want to sacrifice these really good abilities at the beginning. So the smoke bomb, you don't want to sacrifice that and just be putting it into your ult, otherwise you're not going to have the first point being a way in, or you're not going to have your smoke to get out. So you need at least 2-3 points in these abilities before you even think about maxing your ult. So the first ability you unlock is going to be Fixation into Sleeping Dagger and then into Smoke Bomb. And then obviously after that you want to unlock your ultimate, which is the Bullet Dance once it's available. So after that I like to max out Fixation, and then I like to max my Smoke Bomb. So this is key before we max the ult, because we need this utility before we use the ult and after we use the ult. So for example, we need the Smoke Bomb to get in, and we might need the Smoke Bomb, you may use the Smoke Bomb to get out. So this is key that we get these abilities maximized before we max the ult, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Now let's talk about Haze's abilities. So when you first throw the dagger, it's going to do burst spirit damage, and then it's going to put the enemy to sleep for 3 seconds. Then when they take damage, they're going to wake up after a very short delay, so this is going to allow you to get a few free shots in there, and it's going to be basically a stun. So this ability can be used aggressively or not aggressively, so you can use it when you're ganking, or you can use it when you're disengaging in a team fight, for example, and you don't want them to follow you. Haze's first upgrade on the sleep dagger is going to remove their stamina. This is really good for when they're escaping and they've already used all their stamina and they can't get away anymore and you've got a free kill. The second talent point that you're going to use is going to give you a minus 12 second cooldown. This is huge, so this means you can just get more sleep daggers out there, and this could lead to more kills. And finally, the third talent point is going to give you minus 12% bullet resist for 6 seconds on wake up. So Haze's second ability is called Smoke Bomb. You're going to be invisible for 8 seconds for anyone who is in a spot radius of 18 meters of you. So this ability does scale with spirit power, so essentially in late game you could be always permanently invisible. So Haze's first talent point in Smoke Bomb is going to give you a minus 14 second cooldown. So this is what's going to allow you to become permanently invisible in the late game. So Haze's second talent point here is going to add 6 meters per second to her invisible sprint speed. Combined with a base 2 meters per second, you're going to have 8 meters per second sprint speed. So Haze's final point here is going to give you 30% lifesteal for 8 seconds upon leaving invisibility. This is really huge when you're using your ult because it makes Haze a lot stronger. So Haze's third ability is a passive called Fixation. Shooting a target increases your bullet damage on that target. So you will gain 1 stack per bullet hit and you will gain 2 stacks if the shot is a headshot. So at the start you can only get a maximum of 30 stacks, and per stack you gain 0.2 weapon damage. So this ability isn't her main one to begin with, but over time this becomes Haze's strongest ability. So Haze's first talent point is going to offer 60 spirit damage and 15% slow every 2 seconds every time you apply 20 stacks to a target. Haze's second talent point offers plus 40 maximum stacks, so a total of 70 maximum stacks on a single target, and a total of 5 seconds duration before the fixation runs out. And lastly, the best talent point yet, this is going to double your weapon damage per stack on each target. And this is the exact reason why we want to be building fire rate on Haze. It's absolutely OP. We don't want to be focusing on damage because that will come when we build the fire rate. We can create more damage building around fire rate than any items we could ever buy. So now let's talk about the fourth and final ability, Bullet Dance. So if built correctly, this allows Haze to 1v6 in team fights, and also this ability scales with spirit power. So by the end of the game, you're in a team fight, you're going to be using your ult for up to 10 seconds. However, at the start of the game, her ult is only good for 1v1s because her targets per shot are only 1. So even though this is a big AoE around you, it just means you're going to be dealing less damage per target. So Haze's ult also deals damage with anything to do with bullets. So this means it applies fixation. So again, we want to be building out fire rate instead of damage on Haze. For example, when we pop our ult, we're going to want it to stack fixation as quick as possible, which is going to equal more damage. So Haze's first talent point in this ability is going to give it plus 7 weapon damage. This makes it super strong in 1v1s, but not quite really strong in 1v6s. The second talent point is a minus 38 second cooldown. This is great because you get to use the ult a lot more frequently. Haze's final talent point is plus 1 targets hit per shot. So that means if there's 2 people stood in your ultimate, they're not going to be taking half of the damage each, they're going to be taking the full effect of the damage each. So this combined with the right items in the late game is going to make what Haze is all about, her Bullet Dance, and that's going to make her 1v6 and just really dominate the games. So guys, these are the items that I would recommend we start with buying when we're playing Haze in the laning phase. So I start with Headshot Booster and Ammo Scavenger first in order to sustain ammo to hit and secure the souls. I then buy extra regen if I need help in the lane, otherwise just get extra spirit to increase the ammunition. And then round out the character with extra health and rapid rounds. So we're getting into mid game now playing as Haze. So what you want to do is save up for those Tesla bullets. So this is going to help increase our farm really well. And it's also going to help the wave clear speed, which is going to help us ultimately get the rest of our core items. Quicksilver Reload works really well with Haze's Sleep Dagger. So it reloads your magazine instantly upon hitting targets. So it's perfect for continuous combat. Another great item you guys want to be picking up is Bullet Lifesteal. So this is really good at sustaining health, particularly when you've popped your ultimate during these massive team fights playing as Haze. So we're getting into late game now playing as Haze, and what we want to do is still stack as much fire rate as possible. So we're going to do that with Burst Fire. This is our first item. After that, we want to increase our ammo count with additional spirit items. We can also benefit from Mystic Slow due to our level 2 upgrade on our passive, which procs with the spirit damage. Finally, Lucky Shot is what we want to be picking up too. It's going to give us the strongest damage boost, which scales off our fixation. So guys, I'm going to show you some combinations you can do with your teammates. So let's just say you're playing Dynamo at the minute. All you have to do, come in the middle, ult, and then as soon as these guys are stunned, all your Haze has to do is run in, they're CC'd, free kills all around. So it doesn't have to be Dynamo, it could be any other characters. So for example, you could have a teammate who's playing Lash. So he could just come in, he could use his ult, he could grab them all up in the air, pull them right down, bang, Haze comes in, there you go, free kills right there. All it takes is a little bit of communication with your team and you can win the fight. So guys, there's a few different ways of playing Haze and her abilities. The first way is using the sleep dagger to stun them and then killing them. Personally, I don't like doing it this way. I see a lot of Haze players doing this. I will show you another way people are doing it. So they proc the smoke bomb, they're in invis, and then they put the sleep dagger in and then kill. So it's slightly better, but I wouldn't say it's the most efficient use of her kit. So there is one more way that you can use her abilities here, and I'm about to show you. So what you do, you pop the smoke, you go invis, you're walking around, they can't see you, then you get some free shots off that picks up on your fixation, use your sleep dagger, it gets rid of their stamina, and boom, they're dead. This is just in case they're trying to make it out and they're trying to leave. It stuns them, there's no way they're leaving, and you get the kill. So guys, the only way Haze is successful is by strategic farming in the early game like you would on any character, but then transitioning to a more aggressive playstyle with the right items. Whether that's taking down solo bosses, aiding in team fights, or just securing objectives. Haze's true value comes from her high damage output and her evasive maneuvers as a hero if she's played correctly. So remember, Haze's success will not only just depend on your skill and timing, but understanding her synergies and her abilities as well as her items. So guys, that's going to be a wrap on my video for the full Haze build guide. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've taken a lot of value from this video. If you have, be sure to leave a comment below, and if you guys would like to see any more of these build guides, just let me know and I will be sure to make them in the future.